Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's revisit EOS, shall we? Because it's doing a little bit of pumpage at the moment, which isn't, I'm not super turbo bullish on EOS at this level, all right? But what I've been saying for a very long time, and without sounding like a broken record, because I must have made 4 or 5 videos on EOS, more or less saying the same thing, which is that we're in accumulation. So just in brief summary, the way we find out if we're in accumulation is we find out that there's a stable bottom, which is around this zone, and that there's an accumulation zone, a consolidation zone, which is this, where we found tops, and then what we find ourselves is breaking out of there, but not essentially going bullish straight away, finding ourselves in a range known as an accumulation zone, basically confirmed by the lack of edge that you have here on the on these moving averages. They could be going up 1 minute, could be going down the next minute, it could be going up the 1 minute, could be going down. So at the moment it would appear that we're going up again. It doesn't mean that we're out of an accumulation zone at all. The accumulation zone will be finished once we've broken this zone here, which is about $3.90, where we found obviously the tops here, and in the accumulation zone 2 tops as well. So the bottom appears to be in. The resistance appears to be very strong, and it's only once we've broken out of here we can say that the trend is likely to be reversed at that point. So this can still take weeks or months. We are in an accumulation zone, and right at the moment we're in the center of the accumulation zone. So it's all very exciting when we see a little pump like this, and again it makes it very, very difficult to trade in an accumulation zone, almost impossible. And I'll show you my little trade setup. This is all I've been able to do, and this is all I'm willing to do, which is to take a little portion of my EOS and put on a 1x leverage, a 1x. All right, that's because we're in an accumulation zone. The only reason I've done a 1x is because down here would appear close to the bottom, but using leverage in an accumulation zone is deadly and dangerous. So when I talk about EOS being gonna be extremely powerful in this next year, once this accumulation zone has finished, I'm not joking, it will be. But in order to get on some kind of trade setup on this one, it's so difficult that you have to limit your exposure, limit your risk to the market as much as possible. And in order to do that, if you really wanted to try any kind of leverage, our 1x is pretty much as steep as I can go on this. And people might laugh at me, but for me, I trade based on risk, not so much on anything else. Risk is the most important part of my trading strategy, so I wanted to limit my risk. I was pretty confident that we will bounce around this zone, but not. There's no guarantee that we will. It's an accumulation zone, so I'm hoping because it's a 1x leverage, I can sustain some sizable pullbacks before I get particularly scared. However, if this does end up being the way I feel it's going to go, and we start to basically make high after high after high and do a full-on retracement, maybe not back to its all-time high, but essentially a really bullish stair-stepped chart going up and up throughout the year, a 1x down at this level is better than a spot trade, isn't it? It's better than a spot trade. It essentially is a spot trade with 1x leverage. So you can laugh at me all you like with my 1x. I don't mind. I don't mind. My plan is to sail it up for as long as possible with the smallest amount of risk exposure possible, and hopefully this will work out for me. But again, at the moment, I am not super bullish on EOS at all. In the short term, in the long term, I definitely am. But while we're in this accumulation zone, which is a very large range, I will treat it as such. We are not having any. Look, we've had a golden cross with a death cross, a golden cross and a death cross. Probably a golden cross in a minute, in the next couple of days. What's that likely to lead to? Well, these golden crosses don't mean anything. They don't mean anything because there's no range. There's a range to play in, but there's no edge. So as far as the chart is concerned, your guess is as good as mine. But my guess essentially is that this is the bottom, and so buying in around this zone is an okay area because I see it as an accumulation period, and this would be the lower zone of it. This would be the middle zone. This would be the top zone, and our overall targets are all the way up here, believe it or not, towards the end of the year, maybe even sooner than that. But it's a long, drawn-out process in an accumulation period, and there's no specific way to give it any kind of time allocation for when it's finished, because there's no way to judge that. But what we can say in a reasonably is that it is accumulation, and that once it's broken out of here, it will begin to look like the mirror image of this. So if you imagine putting a mirror all the way down from the top to the bottom, we will start to see something similar to this, but going up. And again, this is going back several years now. This could take, maybe not years, but probably probably the vast majority of this year, taking big steps up. So at the moment it's a massive underperformer, but that's completely reasonable given how it was such an overperformer back in 2018. In fact, it overperformed the vast majority of other coins. It was still pumping while everything was going down. So I think it's good to go in the long term. So to see a nice little move like this is good. I'm not going to get excited at all or increase my exposure until we break above $3.90 and prove to everybody that that is a support zone. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. But thank you for watching. Telegram, Patreon, they're all in the links below. I'd love to see you there. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Take it easy.